Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. So today I wanted to touch on a Wings of Fire topic that I love seeing throughout the books, and that's the pets of the series. Despite being huge, towering dragons, the many characters in Wings of Fire have taken to caring for some of the smaller creatures of their world. A lot of these pets are just downright adorable, and others are incredibly interesting in the story. I'm excited to talk about all the ones we know about so far, including the pets you may have forgotten about. But before we begin, a huge shout out to my patrons. Darth of 95, Thistle, Noobto, Piper Nuke, Avril, Pancake, Escarada, Adequin, Alice Cleaver, Shadow Hunter, and Atlas Stargazer. Thank you all so much for supporting me. Links to their social medias are in the description down below. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. Undoubtedly, the most iconic pet in the series is Silver, Glory's sloth. When Glory first arrived to the rainforest and experienced the only true sun time she had ever gotten, she awoke to find Silver sprawled out on top of her. Jambu explained that sloths bond with a lot of rainwings, and that Silver wasn't anything to shoo away. This adorable companion is featured quite a bit in the third novel, and ended up even making some appearances after due to how much readers just loved her. Silver truly is a sloth to remember, and when a lot of people think about Glory, her furry friend comes to mind, perched up by her wing, trusting, happy, and comfortable. Another pet that has cemented itself in the hearts of fans all over the world is Blob. We got introduced to this wooden octopus in Darkstalker Legends. Blob was enchanted by Fathom to be the best, most adorable present for Indigo to have. He'd look after her and make it so that she was never alone. Fathom used his magic to turn a piece of driftwood into a lifelong friend. The reason why readers have always loved this little guy is just because of how adorably he's described. I mean, it was such a genius idea of Fathom's to do something like this for Indigo. Unlike what else was left behind when everyone had to flee the Night Kingdom, Blob even traveled to the beach to live with these two sea wings indefinitely. Fans still wonder to this day whatever happened to him, and if Blob is still swimming around the ocean now. This wooden octopus practically had a mind of his own, but all his antics were in love. Another memorable pet in the series is Dinner the Fox. Just like Blob, he was also enchanted by an animus dragon, though for a much different purpose. Stone Mover, confined to his spot in the cave, needed a way to have food delivered to him every few days. So he came up with the idea of putting a spell on a nearby fox to do the task. Dinner lives a completely normal life, just bringing something for Stone Mover to eat every once in a while. Man, I'd love to see this fox again. Oh my goodness. He's so adorable, and as a fox lover myself, looking at you, Mala, my channel mascot, it would be awesome for a reappearance. And I gotta say, this was a genius idea from Stone Mover. One of the most underrated pets comes from the Ice Kingdom. We only learned about this one in the recent guidebook, but they've stayed in my mind ever since. Snowy is a pet Arctic fox that belongs to Mink. And yes, she was named after her big sister, who's the queen. How cute. Though we don't know much about Snowy, this art piece of them is too adorable. Tui, bring back this Arctic fox for a full appearance, please. But if you thought we were done with sloths, you'd be wrong. There are tons in the rainforest, but among the most memorable are those belonging to the other previous queens. The names of these fluffy pets are Topher and Shaggy. They belong to Exquisite and Magnificent, respectively. Though Shaggy made an appearance in the Hidden Kingdom, snuggled comfortably either in a treehouse or by Magnificent's side, Topher came into the books much later. They appeared on our pages in Winter Turning, much to the annoyance and hunger of winter. One type of pet you'd be surprised dragons have are cats. Yes, we've gotten to see several feline friends throughout the novels, and not just owned by our flying protagonists. Humans have them too, just like we do in the real world. A female sandwing in the scorpion den owned an orange cat named Slasher, who was rather aggressive by 𝙈𝙤𝙀 standards. Since they hadn't been eaten by anyone in the town, 𝙈𝙀𝙀 assumed they belonged to a dragon of relative high importance. Another orange cat also appears in the books, though a lot later. He's owned by 𝙈𝙊𝙁𝙁𝙁, the scavenger prince of the indestructible city. His name is Dragon, and his great size and appropriate grumpiness certainly make the name a good one. When Ren encountered 𝙈𝙁𝙁𝙁 and his cat, she refused to call him Dragon due to her closeness with Sky. If we do get a Dragon Slayer too, I think it's a need that we get more of this little lazy guy. And while some humans own pets, they used to sometimes be picked by dragons and cared for companions of their own. Though we've only seen a few instances of this, they were very important relationships and situations. Rose, one of the treasure thieves who killed Queen Oasis, was taken in by Prince Smolder. He noticed her high intelligence, though didn't believe it went to the level we know scavengers really have. Rose, whom he named Flower, communicated with Smolder in a variety of ways. She was kept safe in the Sandwing stronghold, as other dragons were instructed not to harm her. Rose even had a pet of her own, in the form of a sand mouse. Though Smolder gave it to her as a meal, she just couldn't eat him, and the two had an adorable bond of their own. Rose even picked up on many words in dragon during her time living with the Sandwing Prince. Daffodil, nicknamed Pumpkin by Winter, was yet another human pet. Though originally a wing watcher in the City of Valor, she now lives in sanctuary among the dragons, finally aware of their full intelligence. Daffodil even befriended characters like Bumblebee. Additionally, Bandit was included in the events of Winter Turning, having been owned by the Ice-Wing Prince. However, Bandit was incredibly depressed at being held in a cage, and was eventually let free by Winter after observation. Bandit couldn't join the Jade Winglet in their endeavors, so he was set loose. His current whereabouts are unknown, but I'd like to hope Bandit made it. There's also Rover, a scavenger mentioned by Deathbringer. However, unfortunately, this human ended up dying when their dragon owners unfortunately ate them, seemingly due to misremembering that Rover wasn't a snack. Thankfully, though, dragons and humans are now starting to truly become aware about just how intelligent they each are. There are bans against eating scavengers in most areas, and education, as well as translation, are being passed around through these mass efforts. Soon, we'll be entering a period in Pentala where reading monkeys are friends, not enemies, pets, or food. And that's great for both species. And lastly, the final pet we know about is Talkatooo the cockatoo. Willow has owned this cute bird practically ever since she was hatched, and the two have been inseparable ever since. Sundew even made fun of Talkatoo's name, but Willow defended it as just being a hatchling's idea of one. I mean, we all named our stuffed animals or pets pretty silly things at that age, right? When Bumblebee was asked if she could come up with a better one, being so young, she promptly responded with the name Wordy Bird. Which do you guys think is better? Wow, that's actually a lot of pets in Wings of Fire. I really hope we see more someday too, or even just the reappearances of many of these furry and feathery friends. What do you guys think about all these super cute and interesting pets we've seen throughout the novels? Which is your favorite and why? Let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!